everybody, and thank you very much for watching tonight's training, which is on closing the sale. Now, there is a few different reasons that I have decided to go for this. One of which, I mean, people have asked for this kind of thing, so I feel like it's always a really relevant topic. But second to that, once you're building all of this rapport with your customers and you're doing all of this work, it may have taken you a short amount of time. It may well have taken you quite a long amount of time. And the truth of the matter is, if you go ahead and do all of this work and then lose at the final stage of actually closing that sale, all of your hard work has pretty much gone down the pan unnecessarily. The good thing with closing the sale is that there is so many different ways of doing it, that it's really down to your personality, what suits you, what fits your brand and you yourself. So I haven't got a presentation or anything like that. I've simply gone ahead and made some notes. So I'm just going to breeze through them for you. The tagline that I've put at the top is build trust, handle objections, use your personality, get the booking. And those 4 things really are exactly what these notes are going to be about. But it really is, when you break it down, as simple as that. It can be quite scary, certainly if you are faced with objections, but part of closing the sale is dealing with how to overcome them as well. So use your personality as a superpower. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, you're probably bored of me saying it, but people buy from people. Clients really do want to feel good about who they're booking with. That trust has got to be there. That personality that you all have absolutely does have to shine through. So be authentic. Show that you've got the passion for travel. Share experiences or favorite destinations or, just sort of little personal things. Match your energy to your client's energy. We've spoken again minimally, but we have touched on this, mirroring their tone and mirroring their pace. So if you have somebody who is quite a fast, enthusiastic talker, then you should very much mirror that, because they need to be able to bounce off you. On the flip side, you're going to have people that are quieter, more slow-paced, and you also need to mirror that. If they are a client who talks, let's say, very much how I'm talking now, and they maybe talk a little bit slower, if you then go in and you start talking like this, which is probably the way I talk most of the time, you're just not going to match their energy at all. And it's either going to absolutely bash them in the face and scare them to death, or, you just need to ensure that you're listening well enough, excuse me, that you're listening well enough that you are able to match what they're giving. That is absolutely still using your own personality, but ensuring that you're matching theirs as well. Building a rapport with chit chat. We've spoken about this again so many times. And there's so many different things and different ways that can work. So it could be about the destination that they're traveling to. It could be about a destination that you've just traveled to. It could be about the weather outside. For you guys that are here quite often, and obviously before we start the recordings, one of the first things that we speak about is the weather, because obviously we're dotted all over the place. That absolutely will be the same for your client. If they are, family, friends, or friends of friends, and you're in similar areas, you can still chat about the weather, because at the moment, one week it's a heat wave, the next week, if you're anything like around here, it's absolutely pouring it down. Family, talk about your family. Again, we do the same thing. Prior to that record button being pressed, a lot of you guys will have seen my daughter nipping in thinking that she can get away with it. there's so many different topics of conversation, but that really does build a quick rapport. If you can hear a dog in the background of a client's phone call, instant rapport builder. Instant rapport builder there. Is talking about their dog. You may not even necessarily like dogs, but you hear that dog, you jump on that, and that is you instantly building that rapport. And using positive language. So instead of using this should be fine, or, literally just switch it up a little bit. You'll love this. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait for you to hear what I found for you. Just things like that. Just keep it really upbeat, keep it really, really positive. You are putting together, you are selling somebody's ideal getaway. So it has got to be positive. You want them to be excited about it. And then on to the next point that I've written just a few notes about is overcoming objections with confidence. So if a client hesitates, that doesn't mean that it's a no. It's a request for reassurance. And I can't really be more clear than that. And sorry, break it down more simple. Do not take that as a no. Just take it as almost a cry for help. They want reassurance. So I've written down a couple of really common objections that you absolutely are going to hear. You probably may well have already heard them, but how to handle them and what it really means. So it's too expensive. For some, obviously, don't get me wrong, it absolutely may be. But if you've done the right thing in the first place and you've got that sort of price point off them, the dreaded word budget that I just don't like to use, them then saying it's too expensive actually means they need justification of the value. They literally need value justification. So let me show you what's included and why this is giving you the best value. And it is as simple as that. If they then are saying that it's too expensive, like I say, shouldn't necessarily be an issue, because if you've done those initial steps at the inquiry stage, then you'll already know what they kind of want to spend. If it's at the top end of their budget, tell them why it's at the top end of their budget. Literally, let me explain to you everything that's included here. It could be that there's 6 restaurants, 5 of which are a la carte. If you went out for an a la carte meal, you're probably looking at €100 just for the food without the drinks. This is included. You've got a seafood restaurant. If you went out to a seafood restaurant, you're probably looking at X amount of pounds, etc., etc. Water park is on site. That just for one day for a family of 4 would usually cost £160, whatever it might be. But just literally break it down. The next thing that I've written down, I need to think about it. Now, what that usually means is there's something that they're unsure about. And all you need to respond, again, using your own personality, I need to think about it. Empathy comes in really well here as well. I completely understand that you do. Can I just check? Is it the dates? Is it the hotel? Is there something else you'd like to tweak before you go away and have a think about it? Because the chances are, if you put the question to them, they are then just responding. By saying, I need to think about it, and you saying, okay, no problem, that you've closed the conversation. You've not closed the sale, but you've closed the conversation. A lot of people will not feel comfortable in saying, rather than I need to think about it, saying, I don't actually like the look of that hotel. So by you already saying it, I completely understand. You need to go away. You need to think about it. Can I just make sure, are the dates okay with that? What do you think about that hotel? All they're then doing is they're responding to you. They're not outing it themselves. I hope that makes sense. And another one, I've seen it cheaper online. So that is price comparison anxiety. And all you need to do there, you stay calm. You don't panic internally, because I know that that's very, very easy to do. That instant sort of alarm goes off in your head. Let's check it together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference in the service, in the protection, and what's actually included. Now, sometimes that isn't always going to work. I've had a phone call prior to today of somebody saying to me, I've got this price on X tour operator. If a client went on X tour operator themselves, it's £40 per person cheaper. So in that respect, everything is going to be included. But what isn't going to be included is you. You're not included. So I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, so I can see in this case, the package itself is exactly the same. You are absolutely right. So the difference here is, once you pay your deposit, I will be able to take over everything for you. I can do your online check-in. I can pre-book your seats for you. I will get any emails that may need forwarding on. I can do all of your service calls for you. I can ensure that you're sorted prior to departure. I can even book your car parking if you want me to. Anything like that. Check it together. Stay calm. Don't panic, and go from there. And I have actually put that under a top tip. Always keep calm. Show understanding, and then turn it into an opportunity to actually demonstrate your expertise. You came to me, Mr. Smith, for a reason. You aren't confident online, or you don't trust online, etc., etc. So yes, I am aware from what we can see here, from what we've just checked, that there is a £40 difference. However, you have got the comfort of me being there for anything whatsoever that you need, and me on hand to be able to do these things for you. Payments, you're not putting your payment through an internet page. You're giving your payment details to me. I can input your passport details. I can check you in online. I can pre-book your seats, etc., etc. What I was just saying before. Keep it calm. If you panic, they will panic. Just as we've spoken about you mirroring your client, you don't want them to be mirroring you if you're going into a little bit of a spiral inside your head. And then the next set of notes that I've gone for is mastering the read back technique. Again, this shouldn't be anything new to those of you that have been around a while, because we absolutely have spoken about readbacks. And this also coincides with the last point about the objection side of things. Because if you've taken everything down at the beginning and you're doing this read back, then you actually know that to a degree, the pricing point shouldn't really come up as an objection, because you have hopefully been able to tick every single one of their boxes. So all a read back is a summary. You are summarizing the booking back to the client. You're ensuring that you're doing it with confidence. You're ensuring that you're doing it with excitement, because you have ticked all of their boxes. You wanted A, B, C, D, E. I have got you A, B, C, D, E. And just because I could, I've also got you F as well. But it works. The reason it works is because it's reinforcing what they are getting. It's showing that you have, as an agent, listened, and you've listened properly to what they've been saying. And it also creates a really positive mental image in their brain. They have an idea, they have an image, a picture inside their minds of what they want. By you reading it back to them, point by point by point, you are reinforcing that image. You are reinforcing that visual that they have got of their perfect holiday. So a really simple explanation. So you're going to be flying to Manchester on the 12th of October. You're staying 7 nights at the beachfront hotel in Crete. That is a half board basis. It's got private transfers. I've also managed to get you the sea view room. And because of that flight time coming back, I've also been able to pop a late checkout on there, which means that on your last day, you can chill out, you can relax, you've still got your lunch included. You don't need to think about getting up and getting packed super early. Doesn't matter about trying to find somewhere to put your case. It's all sorted. And always say it as though you yourself want to go. You yourself wish that this was the holiday that you were booking. And that can come from an exciting place. It can come from almost feeling a little bit, coming across like you're a bit jealous. And, you know, there's many different ways of doing it, but it's a really good tip to always read back as though you want to do it. This is something that you really, really fancy. And then with regards to actually closing the sale. So as I was saying, there are different types of techniques. I've chosen 4 that I've always kind of had, I don't want to say instilled into me because that's not what I'm trying to do to people at all. But these were always classed as a powerful 4 closes or way of closing. So the assumptive close. So this is for somebody who's got the real confidence, and I've said it before now, the balls to do an assumptive close. An assumptive close is acting as though the decision has already been made, acting as though they've already told you that they are booking this right now. And a very, very simple and easy way of using an assumptive close is, would you prefer to pay the deposit by payment link or card today? Simple as that. Now, as I say, you can hit, no matter what kind of tone you use, it's assumptive. It's very, very presumptuous. You are attacking that sale. You're going for it. This will not work for some people because, quite simply, it doesn't come out of people's mouths, some people's mouths very well. It's not in their personality to have that more aggressive sort of tone in them, which it is. Like I say, no matter how you say it, you know, if I said, are you wanting to pay the deposit by card or is a payment link better for you? Or if I say, how are we paying this? Are we paying on your bank card or do you want to send you a payment link? No matter what my tone is, it's still a more in your face, grabbing it with both hands kind of sale. So I do appreciate that that will not work for everybody, and that's okay. The next one is the choice close. So what that means is not a yes or no. The choice isn't yes or no. The choice is that you've given more than one option. So what I mean by that is you're on the phone to your client, you've done your emails, you've sent them let's say 2 quotes over just for argument's sake. You've arranged to do a phone call at 5 p.m. and you're on that phone call. You've done your read back, you've gone through everything, and then you've got a choice close. Would you prefer to book the 5-star hotel that's got the breakfast included or the 4-star all inclusive? Still quite assumptive, but you're putting the ball back in their court. You are still almost acting as though you know they're booking right now, but you are asking them, which one are we booking right now? So less aggressive, less assumptive, still with that little bit of oomph, I'm taking this sale about it. The next one is the FOMO close, the fear of missing out close. This really would only work with certain clients. And that isn't me sort of saying that you are doing something different with one client than another. But once you've built that rapport, you will sort of be able to understand what that client is like. And you are going to get some clients that are quite oh gosh, we've left it so late this year. We don't usually do that. We've usually booked 12 months in advance. And that kind of client are a good one for the FOMO close. What you're doing is you're creating urgency, but you're not putting any pressure on it. So this price is held until 6 p.m. tonight. Shall we get it secured now so that you're not going to miss out on it? Simple as that. Really, really simple example, but very, very effective. You are putting no pressure on them whatsoever, but you are giving them the facts that this price is only held until 6 o'clock. So again, you're putting it back on them, but you're putting that little bit of urgency in there. It's a very good closer. And finally, the benefit close. The benefit close is reinforcing the emotional reward of getting this holiday booked. So a very simple and a very easy and a very common way of using the benefit close is something as straightforward as, this is going to be such an amazing break for you and your family. Should we go ahead and get it booked? Simple as that. You've gone personal. You know, it's a family break. They may have a family break every year. They may not have had a family break before. They may have one every 2 or 3 years, whatever it might be. Use that emotional reward. This is going to be such an amazing break for you and your family. Shall we get it booked? This is going to be one heck of a wedding anniversary for your wife, for your husband, whatever it might be. Shall we just get it booked now? Simple as that. So straightforward, so simple. And then I've just put a couple of final reminders. So believe in your offer. If you are confident, they will be confident. If you are panicky, if you are stressed, if you sound a little bit scatty, they aren't going to have that belief. Not at all. The next thing is listen more than you speak. So tailor everything to what your client is saying. That doesn't mean be afraid to speak. Do not be. And another good point on that is, if you've got somebody who is talking away and you may be jotting notes or whatever it might be, if there is something that you think, oh, all you need to do is just go, really sorry, just can I just go back just 1 second? You've said here that you want Can I just double check on that? It could be anything. I've had it before now where somebody has specifically not wanted to go to a hotel. It was further afield. It was very easy, but specifically wouldn't go to a hotel that had less than 9 restaurants. Don't know why the number. It may have been a medical thing, an OCD thing. I really, really don't know. But when they said that, and I was jotting things down, and I literally mid-sentence, I went, oh, sorry. I said, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Can I just take you back just 1 step? Did you say you need to have at least 9 restaurants? Yeah, we don't want to go to a hotel that's got less than 9 restaurants, not when we know that we're going to be pretty much in the hotel most of the time. Okay, no problem. Thank you. It may not sound great to say I interrupted them, but it's showing them also that I'm listening and I'm taking note of what they're saying and I'm double checking. It really, really could be an array of things. That one specifically, I remember. You may have somebody who says something about a water park. Now, what is their idea of a water park? Is it that they want that water park on site? And if they do want it on site, what is their idea? Are we talking something along the lines of Siam Park in Tenerife within the hotel? Or actually, are we talking 3 or 4 slides to keep the kids entertained? Ask the question. Ensure you're listening to them and do not be afraid to ask, so that you make sure you are getting the best for them, tailoring it for them. And finally, not really to do with overcoming objections, but something that we've spoken about before is the follow-up. And this can go, this can be applied to more than one stage. So the follow-up from the inquiry itself, the follow-up after you may have sent quotes online, for example, via email, but then also follow up if they don't book on the spot. So there is no real rights and wrongs to following up if they don't book on the spot. The same would apply with regards to agreeing a time with them, but try not to leave it any longer. Your ideal is to be able to speak to them again within 24 hours. If that's not a possibility, certainly within 48. Make sure you are explaining to them that prior to speaking, you will have to get this rechecked just to make sure the costings don't change. Unfortunately, as daft as it may sound, they literally can change day by day, etc., etc. But always try and follow up promptly, but obviously not too over the top. You don't want to be speaking to someone at 6 o'clock at night and then saying, okay, I'll ring you at 8 o'clock in the morning. It just may not work, and it may sort of tip the balance of creating that urgency and over to desperation that you don't want. But always make sure you are following up. Always make sure you try and get something in place with a client of when you can call them. You will also then get a feel for whether or not they are a real booker. And I'm sorry to use the air quotes, but you will be able to tell if you have somebody who genuinely wants to speak to their wife, for example. You may have tried a couple of different ways of closing. So, wouldn't Mrs. Smith absolutely loved it if she came home from work tonight or from choir or wherever she is, and you surprised her and told her that you'd gone ahead and booked it for her? You may have tried that. You may have tried an assumptive close first, whatever it might be. You may have even gone down the route of actually saying, okay, I appreciate what you're saying. I do have to let you know that this price is only held for another hour, but I completely appreciate that you need to talk to Mrs. Smith. That is not a problem. What time, Mr. Smith, is going to be best for me to call you tomorrow? If what Mr. Smith is saying to you is completely true, then he is going to maybe think about it for a second, but he's going to tell you what time you can call at. If you then start getting, do you know what, actually, tomorrow's probably not going to be great. I'm just thinking about what we've got on. Oh, gosh. No problem. I appreciate everybody's got lives. What about a later one again? 6 o'clock. How does that sound? Mr. Smith, I am working from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, so you tell me. I just don't know if tomorrow's going to work. You are literally telling that client that you can ring them from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. If that still isn't good enough, something isn't quite right. So you'll then also start from there. That can open up another conversation. No problem. I appreciate what you're saying. I completely get that. Can I just ask, Mr. Smith, apart from you having to speak to Mrs. Smith, is there anything else that I can tweak on this price for on this holiday? Sorry, not price. Yeah, knock $1,000 off. Is there anything else that I can tweak for you? Is there anything else that you think, Mrs. Smith, always great to put it on the other person that isn't there? Do you think that there may be something that Mrs. Smith won't like, that she might want changing, whatever it might be? Oh, do you know what? Yeah, actually, I'm not too sure that she's going to like these rooms. And again, it may sound silly, but I've had a client in the past who has chosen hotel, or should I say, disregarded hotels because of the bedding, the covers, the bedding. Literally, if they didn't like the bedding, they were not going to that hotel. You could have told them that it was the Ritz. They're not going because they didn't like the bedding. So, I'm not saying it would be necessarily as silly as that. But by sort of putting it back on Mrs. Smith's toes, who's not even there, you may then get something else out of him. I don't think she'd like that hotel. Do you know what I think? I think she's going to say to me, she doesn't want to do a 1 hour transfer. You've got to the core of it then, without even realizing and without him knowing that he's giving you that information. You've got to the core. He doesn't care about speaking to Mrs. Smith. He's not waiting until she gets back from the choir, because once she gets back from choir, he's going to walk through the door, and she's going to walk through the door, and he's going to say, the travel agent rang. No, not for us, not for us. So, following up, before you expanding on your questions, giving real open questions on the follow-up is an absolute win-win situation. And that is literally the end of my notes. So I do hope that people have got something out of that. If you do have any questions, if you want one-to-ones on anything like this, anything whatsoever, I will always fit you in when I can. Thank you very much. Bye.